Hey guys, we're James and Kestra with the Boundless Bronnekes, and
You
it's kind
can't you can't
I
even
can't
do
even be serious because we're wearing matched sweaters. I didn't even realize it until I started filming, but they are super cozy.
You
But
love it.
I do love it. We just got to our beautiful site in West Yellowstone, and we want to show you guys the full unhitching and setup of everything we do to get cozy in our camper. So stay tuned. All right, so as we're pulling into the site, we try to just basically eyeball everything and have a basic understanding of where our slides are at. But even still, every now and then with these newer slides, we've created this tape measure that has our different slide lengths on it. So I'm going to find out number 2 here and measure, and I got plenty of room. So we'll have 6 inches on either side of that. So that's one of the things. First thing before we unhook is plug in our surge protector. Make sure this is off. Plug your surge protector in and then turn it on. And that's going to go through a whole diagnostic to make sure that this power outlet, this box is good to go, that there's no loose wiring and a number of things. But super important to do this. And then once it runs through, it usually takes 2 minutes, and then we'll get like a bunch of green lights. I actually put this black tape on it in Medora outside of Theodore Roosevelt National Park because at nighttime the lights were so bright it was bringing in all the bugs, so I plugged those in. Anyways, this will go through 2 minutes. It'll go through a big sequence to make sure that this power outlet is completely safe for your rig to be plugged into. And then while that's going on, I just double check the sewer and the water and make sure those are both operational. And once that's good, then we start unhitching the trailer. One other quick thing with water is before you completely unhitch, make sure that the amount of water hose you have is actually going to go from the water spigot to your rig. It's really bummer if you set everything up, you disconnect, and then you realize you got to move forward because you don't got enough hose. My first connection is just going to go from my triple stage water filter straight into our connection inside the rig. If you don't have an elbow coming inside your main city water or even your tank fill, it'd be really beneficial to get that. It relieves a lot of the tension from the plastic pieces, the threads going in. So another thing I highly recommend is getting some form of water pressure regulator. Some of these places that we've been to have really high water pressure, and it could be damaging to the internal components. So this is a quick setup. Right now we're using the Blue Tech water filtration system, their stainless steel hose, all their stainless steel appliances. I'm loving it. I showed this setup. I don't know if you saw that when I hooked it on, but this thing it's called their Shark accessory, and everything is quick connect. So usually it's just that. You can put this right on here and it's like a quick quarter turn. No matter if you have like 4 threads, 5 threads, or 2 threads, this thing is amazing. Just push it right up on there. Oh, push that up and turn, and it's locked in, and then that goes there. I just leave those always connected as one piece. So now we have stainless steel hose. It's going to our water filtration system and then up into our actual city inlet. So there's our water. As we've been setting everything up, I come back to my surge protector and I got a good solid green light. What we're going to do before we hook up is I'm going to turn off the power. So that's killing everything. I'm going to plug in my actual power cord that goes to the trailer here. I'm going to then plug into the trailer. Man, and I tell you what, I love this new setup with the 90-degree on here. Our old one came straight out and put a bend on the cord. This in, give it a little spin, and now we are connected to the power pedestal. And here we go. I'm just going to turn it back on. It'll run through its whole diagnostic, but I already know that it's safe and secure, and that's all we have for power. Next, we're going to set up sewer. So I got my handy dandy gloves here. One, because I'm touching the other sewer pipe, and I just don't want anything on my hands. So here we go. On to the sewer. First thing I'm going to do, got this new handy dandy drain lock. Going to lock that in. That just slips in and then locks down like that. Since we have a gray tank at the back for our kitchen, I use the Y so I don't have to have two setups. All right, first thing, getting our sewer hoses out from a storage. These things are so handy. I love these sewer hose holders. And then just this. open up our, man, these new ones are tough. Bam. Okay. First thing I'm gonna do, open this up. So for those wondering what this extra valve is, this is called the Rhino Blaster. And basically what this is I still have my valves up under here. But what's really nice about this one is it adds one more valve just in case I ever have a leak and it starts to drain. And when you go to take this cap off, you don't get a bunch of fluid out. But what's really nice about the Rhino Blaster is I have this set up with a quick connect. This is a backflow preventer. So you hook up your other garden hose to here, and monitoring how much water flow is going interior, you would shut this, open up your main valve, and it's going to fill up your tank. And then when you've reached the amount of water you just shut this valve, open this one up, and it flushes everything out. That's really handy. We do it probably once a month with our gray tank in the kitchen, but we do it way more frequent with our actual sewer setup. So we're flushing out our black tanks a whole lot more, so we don't have any issues there. That's where this really comes in handy. All right, you think we can make it in one shot, or I need a connection? But here we go. I love this Rhino Flex hose too. Look at that. We got plenty of room. So Rhino Flex 10-footer straight to there. And then I'll set up my supports real quick here. So we have two different types of supports that I'm going to show you. The first one is this is your typical sidewinder, flexible, moves around really easy. The other ones are for more permanent, but I really do like these. They fit into some really tight spaces inside. But let's get these lined up. And we get a lot of questions like, why do you use supports? A lot of times when you're doing this as much as we are, by having supports, not only does it keep a good flow and keep that drop so all the fluids come down real nice, it takes pressure off of here. Instead of when you got a heavy load coming out, heavy load, when you got a lot of stuff coming out at once, whether it's your water or not, all that pressure gets stopped here instead of pulling way down and pulling on here, right? So even though I have this Rhino Blaster that allows you to adjust a little bit, we really like just keeping this here. And then what's helped me over time is on my very first one, I have these tiny little bungees, and I'll show you. I'll strap that around the very first one. And that just kind of keeps them locked in place. And then you just pull these right to where you want them. And just like that, you got a strong, solid support. All right, here's another reason why to show you guys that valve. I have brand new valves on this trailer, and today on travel day, you could see where some of that had leaked. So if I had just had the typical cap over this, then when I go to take that off, that liquid, whether it's gray or poop water, would have leaked all over the place, right? So this is another great reason to have a secondary valve, or in this case, the Rhino Blaster comes with the valve. All right, I think I'm gonna need our extension on this one, so I got it laid out here. Yep. So here's one of those situations where additional hose comes into play. One time when we were right outside of Knoxville, Tennessee, Chattanooga, Tennessee, we had a 40-foot hose lay. Yes. So anyways, this is just a quick little 5-foot addition into here. And then let me show you the second type of supports we have. All right, so these are the stacking supports. They don't fit in as tight of spots, but they're way more sturdy, and I really, really like these ones. And with our water hoses or electrical hoses, if you need to go over something, they give you that ability to do that. All right, so now that we know that all of our utility connections are good to go, we like the way our slides are going to come out, I can go ahead and chalk the truck because we're going to get ready to unhitch the rig now. Good recommendation on tire chocks too is getting the good rubber ones. Some of the plastic ones we've seen run over, broke. These are super solid. They got a grippy spot on the bottom, which is really nice on asphalt or concrete, but it comes in handy here. So I just put one chalk in front of each one of the tires, and then here in a minute, just to help with a little bit of the rocking forward to backwards, we're going to come in and put our X chocks here in just a second. But I wait to put the X chocks in until the rig is completely disconnected from the truck. Next, we're going to put some of our stack pads from RV Snap Pads down. I used to carry wooden blocks. These ones are just really nice because you can organize these in a way you could pull your truck up or your tires up on this if you need to level. But what we're doing is just giving ourselves a little bit of elevation so that our legs don't have to come down so far. So now that we got the rig kind of in one spot, we're going to go ahead and start disconnecting the truck. So the first thing I do is pull our power cord out, and I always loop it over the tailgate, so then when I pull out, it doesn't get hooked on anything in here. Second is disconnecting both our emergency brake cable and pulling out the pin for the B&W hitch. All right, so next, start the truck, and I'm going to slowly pull away, because one of the things we found that's really helpful is as I pull away, she can shut my tailgate, which gives me my back camera, and then I can see where I'm at when I'm backing up, and that I'm clear of everything, just like that. I'm not sure if you guys have one of these, but this is a pretty sweet deal. It's got a really strong magnet. It's called the cord keeper. Keeps your cord nice and cleaned up, and you don't ever want to stuff it up in there, but it's got a little notch, lines up with your power plug there, and then you just wind it up real quick till you're all the way at the top, and then it magnets right on the top, keeps everything nice and organized and clean. And then when you're ready to, and it's got a strong magnet just like that. Now that we're completely unhitched, the truck is a little bit away from the rig, we're going to go ahead and hit auto level, and what that's going to do is it's going to drop our rear jacks and start to make sure our rig is completely level. Now, while that's doing that, if you guys are having a problem with your 0 point, make sure to check out our video. We'll put a link like right here on how to recalibrate and re-zero your rig, just in case you were in the same predicament that we were, that when I would go to hit auto level, my rig was like this from the factory. So if you're having that problem, check this video out and it'll help you out.
So now we are completely set up on the outside. Utilities are hooked up. We're unhitched. We're level. We are ready to go. James has done everything that he's supposed to do. So if you guys have any questions, let us know. If you want any of the products that we use in this video, we're going to put links to those in the caption, and make sure that you subscribe if you found this helpful. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Bye.